Estudio de.
Welcome. This is Alcampo Hunting Adventures Podcast. I'm Jacobo Artee. So welcome to the show. And this episode, we have a special guest. She's a winner from a raffle, a special raffle for Less Than a One Club. So we're going to be talking about that specific in a moment. But before that, let me tell you that she's here, not alone. She came with her husband and son also. So welcome, Michael, Joe, and Catty Hill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. So, Catty, so excited about your winning that prize. And for first of all, I would like to know who is Catty. You know what you do for a living and all that, and how you become or start hunting big game. You know, so just tell us a little bit, and then we will change microphone to everybody, and so just to know the family, you know.
Yeah. So I work for Kent School District up in Washington State. I'm up in the admin building at the school district, and I'm an application specialist. So I work with computers and all kind of programs. I got into hunting once I got married. My husband was into hunting, and we had 2 kids, my daughter, who's older, and then my son, who is here. When my son got very into it with his dad, we have to take hunter's education up in Washington before we can start hunting. So when Michael was ready to go into that, I took hunter's ed with him, and our daughter took it as well. I was about 33, 34 at the time. So we all passed hunter's ed. We went hunting that fall. That was kind of my start. I didn't shoot a deer or anything right away because it was more important that the kids got theirs and all that. And so when I finally shot my first one, it was all over. I was into it.
Welcome to my life.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's nice. So, tell me, before we go to deep details, I wanna hear Joe and I wanna hear Michael about how is living a life of hunting. You know, I know how it is because I born doing this. You know, but I want to hear for some other families. You know, so we start with Joe for order. You know, so tell us, Joe.
Well, I grew up in a family that would hunt every year, and it wasn't like extreme hunting or anything. We would always hunt to put food in the freezer to feed the family, to help offset cost of food. It became a passion. My father taught me and my brother. I'm the oldest of 3. So it became very apparent to me that it was part of supplying for the family. So it became, I played sports and all that kind of stuff, but hunting and outdoor activities became funner to me. So I just continued. Every year would change ways I would hunt, whether it be with a rifle, a bow, or whatever, as long as I was successful to put food in the freezer. Never been a really big trophy hunter. It was always about supplying food for the family. It was definitely more to that until our kids were born. And then once the kids were born and they got old enough to hunt, then it became watching. It was a whole new experience for me. I used to be, me go out and hunt and do this. And then when the kids were old enough to hunt, I found more joy and more emotion watching my children, harvest animals, to the point where now it becomes, I actually find more joy watching my wife harvest animals.
That's nice. That's nice. Yeah. And like you say, supplying the family is the most important. Like here in Mexico, family is number one. Whatever you have a compromise, whatever you put your family first, then the compromise. So it's just supplying the family with food. fill in your freezer for the rest of the year, so it's like unbelievable, and it's funny to hear like my boys, look at this boy. Look at this boy. It's a big hunter now. Oh, yeah. So, So, Michael, tell us something about it,
Yeah, so I basically grew up hunting, going in the outdoors and, hunting with my dad when I was young. I remember my first time going into the woods like 3 years old. I got my hunter's ed when I was 9 years old, shot my first buck when I was 9. My mom says it the most. My dad created a monster in me with the outdoors and hunting and fishing and just living that life, being able to basically go travel the world. I've done a lot in my life and, I'm pretty fortunate to have a family that, stands behind me and we're able to go on trips like this trip that we just are wrapping up and finishing right now. And, basically letting me do and follow my dreams of what I want to do in life instead of, jumping into a 9-to-5 and, following my dreams. Like I'm a guide up in Washington for waterfowl and some big game and just trying to live life to the fullest and try to live it right in my eyes.
Yeah. Definitely you have it right.
Yeah.
You have it right. Yeah. So, Caddy, first trip out of the country.
Yes.
So how you feel it?
I was very nervous at first because it was my first trip down to Mexico, period, and then first out of country hunt. So not knowing exactly how things go, but I'm having a fabulous time, and I am so happy I was able to come down and do this.
Oh, this is great that you mentioned, so there's a lot of things happening in Mexico, and you hear in news and everything, and but you feel in some point like, oh, I don't want to go there, or after seeing all this and living all this, what can you tell us, like?
Yeah, when we got here, not ever really going through customs or anything, came off the plane, they were very helpful. They spoke English. That's another thing I was worried about because I don't know very much Spanish at all. And so they were very helpful, very nice, very considerate. Got through customs, went through the guns with the military and the customs. And that was so easy. They were so nice and helped us through, got out. George was waiting for us out there. And then he took us on and we were on our way. And I never felt uncomfortable or afraid once we got here. I felt very secure and very easy.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear that, and it's normally what we live, every day. Is the areas that we hunt and all that. Of course, we take our time and schedule to do the best. So you be safe all the time, and it's safe out there, and some places, of course, if you travel some other places in the world, for sure you're gonna find crazy things like this happening in Mexico as well.
Oh, yes.
So it's just a topic that is always jump out, so it's good to hear it. And the other thing that I wanna talk about is you're not only regular hunters, you're really involved in some other stuff, conservation efforts, and you're also part of Wild Sheep Foundation in your state. So I want to hear a little bit of that, and then we go to details about Less Than a One Club and how you're here,
Yeah. So yeah, we all are part of Washington Wild Sheep. My husband is a board member, a treasurer, and my son is a board member as well. I am behind the scenes all the time. I help with whatever is needed, a lot of the computer stuff, a lot of the, the new forms we're building out and different things that we're doing to upgrade and things. So we've been a part of that since, before Michael was, how old were you, 7, 8?
It was probably been about 15 years of being in the Washington Wild Sheep. Yeah. And, we started going to the national show down in Reno. I've been going for 7-8 years now, and I think this is my 8th year. My parents is going to be seven years going now here in January. But but yeah, we're just big in the conservation and management, and just, you know, listening and seeing and watching, you know, especially with your family, and just seeing firsthand down here, since we've been to Sierra Alamo and Alcampo and, you know, a couple ranches. It's crazy just to see firsthand the conservation you guys have done down here to make the best of the situation that you guys started with and now have grown and just gotten better and better, it seems like. So.
Thank you for that. And you've been a lot of years working with this, getting involved in the things that we also get involved, you know, and I know you want to say something. I want to hear you.
So basically, hunting brought us to this. Brought us to this. I had a good friend who we shared elk camp together, and he was part of Washington Wild Sheep many years ago. And he invited me to the first one, not the first banquet they ever had, but the first banquet that we would attend.
Okay.
And at that point in time, blue collar worker, not a lot of money. I was extremely overwhelmed by the banquet and how much money a person could spend there, but realized real quick that all that money goes for a cause, right? There was a number. The following year, we continued to go to the Washington banquets. The following year, I was able to purchase my life member for Washington Wild Sheep, and in the live auction, I bought my son's life membership. Just to kind of give a little bit of insight, we have Washington Wild Sheep has over 660 life members.
Okay.
Across the state, out of state, just people that have signed up for life membership. Me and Michael are 91 and 92. So
you're telling everything with that.
It kind of tells you that, you know, we weren't the beginning, but we bought in. We bought in early. Kathy, once our finances were stable enough, and she became a life member as well. To the point where Michael's a life member of National Wild Sheep, Kathy's a life member of National Wild Sheep, and I am a Summit life member of National Wild Sheep. Got to a point where I continued to be involved and helped at the banquets and different things, to the point where my friend asked me to become a board member.
Okay.
And at that point in time, I was all about it. I drank enough water. I wanted in. I wanted to be a part of something big. To the point where I've been a board member for a number of years, and then just I'm on my second term as the treasurer of Washington Wild Sheep. It's almost joyful, voting upon different conservation funding projects, and then being the guy that writes that check, you know, that allows the continuation of conservation, whether it be in state, out of state, you know, bordering countries that we help with or whatever. It became a big thing to me, and of course my family just has followed suited. Michael continues to be involved. Like Kathy said, she's behind the scenes a lot. She does more than most board members' wives. So that's kind of a little bit more in depth on how deep this family is in the wild sheep family.
That's great. That's great. That's a great story. And so I know you shot around before, and now Kathy did. Yes. So congratulations for that. But I want to talk about how do you win that prize?
So National Wild Sheep has a program called Less Than One Club. They always say it's the club you want to get kicked out of.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've never shot a sheep, so I go into the drawing. There's a drawing. It's $25 to enter, $25 to be in the room and with everybody, and then of course you have to be a member. I've been a left member for quite a while, so we've been doing that for about 7 7 years putting our name in the hat. And last year, the first name drawn out was a gentleman from Washington State as well. He ended up picking the doll sheep because there was 4 hunts last year. There was 3 dolls in the desert here at Sierra Alamo. So when he got drawn, everybody was for sure the gentleman would pick the desert because that's the harder one to get, for a lot of people. Well, he didn't. He took one of the doll sheep.
For some reason.
For some reason, yes. Then they pulled out the next name. Another Washington State. They go, and Gray goes, it's a woman. So that even makes numbers come down even more. Washington State, a woman. Well, that's pretty close. And then he'd already kind of looked around and he's seen Michael. And he said Bonnie. And we all just went crazy. Bonnie Lake, that's where we live.
Okay.
And said my name. I started getting so emotional. I couldn't talk. It was such a shock and an honor to be drawn. My family was with me, my husband and son. My daughter couldn't be there last year, but we all got up screaming, hollered, crying. And I turned to my husband before I walk up to stage. I said, even though I knew what I was going to do, I asked him, what do I do? What do I take? Which one? Just because it was just so emotional. Such.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
And he told me, we're going desert sheep hunt, baby. And so I walk up to the platform where everybody's at, and Gray hugs me. And I couldn't say anything except that I know what I want. I want the desert sheep. That's all I could get out of there. And so that's how I won and was able to come down.
Wow.
So
It's amazing. And we're really proud, because it takes a lot of effort to donate a hunt.
Yes.
But when you see stories like this, it's like, yes, huh?
Yes.
Right on, on. And it's not just giving that hunt, it's what is involved, like all the conservation efforts, just to put and keep sheep on the mountain. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of time and efforts, and when everything came as a plan and a success plan, it's like, well done, Yes. I love those stories. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. Well, it's my allergy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's my allergy. It's my allergy. Oh my God. Wow. So what's next for Caddy? What's next?
What's next? Well, I get to go home and see my grandbaby. That's very important. We have a new grandbaby. She's almost 5 months old, so that's a big part of me. But we're going to go antelope hunting, hopefully next year. And then about 4 years from now, we're planning to come back down and see you guys and hopefully shoot mule deers because I love to shoot the big muleys.
You're welcome anytime. Speaking of that, I was surprised that so after they went to Sierra Alamo, so I wasn't on that hunt. So George was guiding the whole time with my older brother Javier, and also they take very well of this family, So and they came back to Hermosillo and visit the other property. But before we go to that point, I want to know about the hunt because I wasn't there. I just hearing stories about this and that. So but you tell me what happened. That day.
Okay, so we went out our first day there. Just Friday morning. We got up early. We started driving out, seeing some juvenile rams and seeing some deer and then seeing a few ewes. And we came up to one of the mountains and we were glassing. And I'm like, oh, sheep right up there. And I'm horrible about trying to tell people where it is on the mountain. So I get my son over. So, okay, here, it's right there. You know how mom is and stuff. We found it. They got to looking at it. Good ram, and we got closer after that because they wanted to get a little better work because we were,
3 miles.
3 miles. We were ways away from it, so we wanted to get closer.
Oh, good spotting.
Yeah. My binoculars in the truck, just looking through. So we went up farther and took a look, and George got a spotter out. The boys had their spotters, and we were looking, and they found it again. And George and Mike were like, "Oh yeah, that's a good ram. We need to go kill that ram." And I'm all excited. First day out, first morning, I'm like, okay. So we raced around the mountain to come up the backside so that we could come over the top to find the ram. And so we got out, got everything ready, started hiking up through all the cactus and all the fun little pokey things out there.
Yeah, you can take souvenirs home.
No, I had one that's a cholla. Is that?
A cholla. The jumping cholla. They're nasty.
It kept jumping out at my leg. But got up there, and then I've hiked quite a bit, but not in like the loose rock where it wants to, when you take a step, you might come back down a little bit. So it took me a little bit longer just because I was a little nervous to get up there. But I made it. We made it to the top. We got it. George had us sitting down just a little bit while he was trying to locate the ram. And he went over to the right a little bit looking. He found it. We heard him start running back. Found it. So we got up, got me in place. The ram came 80 yards from us. Couldn't quite get a shot at that point. So we're looking at it, watching it. He comes up around my first shot. He got cleared where I could get a shot. I got fairly sturdied up there on the little edge of the top of the mountain. And what was my first one? 120 yards. Shot it. It buckled. We're like, okay, we got him. Well, needed to do another shot just to get him down. So did another one, was able to drop him. Then we had to go out on more loose rock. So we went out there looking. We couldn't find it at first. It's like, where did he go? It wasn't that far away, so it's not like we're looking. So finally, they went over farther to the left, and my husband was where he looked back just enough, and he seen him. He was like on a shelf behind a little rock thing that we couldn't see over while we were walking around it. So we all got down there. He was upside down with one of his hooves through the horn, and emotions again. I was already emotional once I shot the sheep. Then there was more emotions when we got down there. And oh my gosh, there is no words of describe your feeling when you get there and you see that. It was just phenomenal. George and Abraham and Carlos and of course Joe and Javier. Well, Javier, yeah, okay. He was taking his time. And then, of course, Joe and Michael were up there with me. So I couldn't ask for better people with me, better guides. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we have a good crew, and it's been with us for so many years. And that's the way that works, when you trust your people. So that's great. That's great. What a story. Oh, wow. It's unbelievable. So you went there, took pictures, and then
lots of pictures, and then we packed up my they got it out, did all the stuff, skinned it, got the meat out. There is a tradition that we have in our family that my son was on my husband's sheep hunt, and he carried out his horns and the cape out, and I wanted him to do the same for mine. So
how convenient.
Yeah. So he was able to carry out my horns and my cape as well. And then Carlos and Abraham took all the meat and stuff down, beat me down, of course, because I'm not the fastest going down either. So everybody was, we got everything out. We had a beautiful lunch up there on the mountain. Oh my gosh, it was the breathtaking view up there, and you're eating your lunch and too while we were, after we did pictures, and it was just no words. Like I said, no words. It's just so beautiful and surreal. And we got down. We made our way all the way down. I think no cactus on the way down. It was all the way up. But we all got down, and more congratulations and more tears. And so, yeah.
So, yeah, on the way out, there's no cactus because you choose where you're gonna go. Yes. When you have a ram to kill or to harvest, you just go straight or whatever. Yes. There's no options, you know. So it's like, okay, here I go.
Yeah, we put George in front of me. I said, pick the best trail. No.
Okay,
get me down.
So carrying that head in your back, how it feels.
It feels great. I mean, I love heavyweight, and when I packed up my dad's ram, and it was just a surreal moment. I've never killed a sheep personally. I've been on a few sheep hunts and a lot of other hunts, elk hunts, deer hunts back home in Montana or wherever I've been hunting, and that one feels the most special. On that, I didn't just carry out the head and cape. I carried out a lot more. That was a backcountry hunt, a little bit different. This hunt, I mean, it felt the same. Packing out my dad's ram, it was very special. I was down below him, and I made a little video and had a couple more emotions. A tear maybe came to my eye about it, and just reflecting on what just happened. It's killing a sheep is different than killing a deer or an elk, especially us that we've hunted a lot. And some people, I mean, I still get the shakes on deer, elk, whatever, but with sheep, it's a different type of as we call it, sheep fever.
I agree.
It's a different type. It's a different type of adrenaline. We don't get to hunt these sheep, anywhere in the world a lot. So it's way different. And the cool thing is it's, in the last 2 years, we've killed 2 sheep as a family. And it's just so special. Like I said, I've been pretty fortunate to, able to go along with my dad and my mom and, make memories like this, because I know, some families, they just can't. We're like this family, we're pretty tight, and yeah, it's just an amazing thing to have, and very special to make memories. And yeah, dream
that's
come
great.
true.
That's great. So half Islam in the family. So a doll, desert. So you're missing a stone or Rocky. Yeah. So maybe you.
Yeah. And my dad, I'll let him explain it, but he has a little goal in mind for the family for sheep. If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that not just one person should achieve something. If you can make it a family affair. I want to complete a personal Super 10. But as far as the family, so involved with wild sheep, I want us to do like a family slam where I've done the doll, Kathy's done the desert. We're going to work on Michael trying to get a stone. Obviously, another expensive expedition. But and then obviously in the state of Washington, we have 2 subspecies of sheep. So maybe if we're lucky, one of us draw, but more than likely not. So if we make it to 3/4 like you, Jacob, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
If we make it to 3/4, we'll look into, having to do what we have to do to complete the family slam. But Kathy's not going to do a full fanaz. I'm not going to do a full fanaz. Michael could at his age, being young enough and opportunities and different things, but I think a family slam
is possible.
It's very possible.
It's very possible. Yes. Yeah. No. And lucky you are, guys. Now, oh, come on, you name it. Eh? Yeah. That's great. That's great. So, so after that trip, then one day, you was worried about it.
Yeah.
You was worried about it. I remember the following day of the raffle, just first hour of the show, you just visit me, and like, Jacob, I won this prize, and like, so you're the lucky winner. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So we start talking about it. Like you was really worried about the climbing and the shooting. I said, don't worry, don't worry, we'll take care of you. Maybe in one day or two. I was playing with that, you take it serious one day.
Yeah.
Take it serious. No, that's unbelievable. So after that, spend a day or two in camp, no?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Yes.
A couple of days or two in camp and relaxing, taking care of the sheep and our cooks or chef is taking care of you guys.
Yes, very much so. Very much so. Bruno was fabulous.
Yeah, that's great. And then traveled to Hermosillo back, and I was there, I was hunting with with another client, and they left early. And success, by the way, yes, and they kill a good ram, and then we spend a couple times, give you a tour in the house, and then I remember Joe said, "Hey, before we go out in the car, do you have any management back here that we can look?" And like, yeah, we talk about that, and then like because Michael was really interested to shoot one, no, and So what happened?
Yeah. So, I mean, after my mom shoots her sheep on day one, and then you're like, come to the ranch, we want to hang out with you, and everything else. And my dad had this, stirring in his mind, like, I wonder if Jacob's got any management bucks. And I didn't know it at the time. I was just here to, enjoy the sheep hunt, look at the ranches, possibly, and everything else. And then, Dad made mention on the way down, hey, what about a management buck for you? I'm like, if Jacob has some, yeah, I'll go shoot one. I'm always down to, go harvest a deer and this and that. So we arrive at, 3:30 to Alcampo, and we asked, and you're like, yeah, we'll go out this evening and go, take a tour and go look. I'm like, all right, no problem. And we get up into the high rack in George's truck, and we start driving the ranch and see some coos deer, see some mule deer, see some couple of really nice trophy bucks. And it's getting dark. And the cool thing was we actually waited for your two sons to come with. And I always thought, it's always family for me too. And, I'm like, yeah, absolutely. We'll wait for them and we'll bring them. I always love to share, experiences like that. And one, it was Julian, right? That was
Julian.
Julian was up with us in the high rack and driving around, and then all of a sudden, because you said that I told you that I love a super twos. I love giant 2 points, and you're like, oh, we got one or two on the ranch, and well, all right, cool, just a management deer, period. Something old, mature that's not, you don't want in your herd. So we're driving around, it's getting dark, and I'm like, oh, we got all day tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, right here. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, that's a 2 point. And there you had a near tag in that buck, and it was from 2016 was the date. And we're like counting on our fingers because our minds are circling. like 1, 2, 3.
He's a 7-year-old.
He's a 7-year-old. And you're like, yeah, that buck. I'm like, perfect. So we move the truck because he kind of goes into the brush and everything else. So we move the truck down the high rack, and he steps out, and at like 60 yards, I think, and I put it right on him and squeeze, and I mean that buck didn't go 20 yards. I mean, it was an hour of hunting, if that, and super cool to be able to take a management buck. And we walked up to him, and yeah, he was an old buck. His hooves were curling in, hollowing out. A great buck to take out of the herd for management, and that just goes to show the conservation. You're growing old, mature bucks, and at the end of the day, I'm very blessed to take a buck like that. He's not going to score much. He's not, he's not the biggest. He's not that 33-inch wide desert mule deer that everybody dreams about shooting, but he's a buck that is made his routes. He's lived his life, and basically he's lived his fullest life. Yeah, he could have lasted another year, but you don't want those genes in your pool. Yeah,
it's part of the management.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe we missed that. For sure, we missed that buck for 2-3 years, and that was good for him. But now he made this mistake. He was really close to the car, and 7-year-old in a buck, and a 2-pointer. That's like you said, that's the best management that we couldn't take. So
yeah, absolutely,
that's unbelievable. Yeah. Well, guys, an hour hunting, a day hunting,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and your doubt about completing your Islam as a family? No, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, and I will watching. I will watching you guys what you're doing, and hey, 2027 maybe better buck.
Yeah,
well, better buck.
He would like a coos.
Yeah, I'd like to, because my personal goal right now is to finish my deer slam, and one of them is being a coos deer. And I didn't get to see the big coos on the ranch, but I know you guys got them.
Because I take another road.
Yeah. You didn't show me for a reason. No, it's all good. And, and I know mom and dad want to come down here for a big desert trophy mule deer. So, change it up, and possibly shoot a coos deer,
Yeah, we're going to be
sure.
really happy to having you here back as a family, of course. And, you have a plane to catch,
I do,
you
yes,
have a plane
shortly.
to catch. And thank you guys to give us this moment, it's important for us. And I hope I can bring more of our people and sit it here, first time having this a full table, and it feels great, we can talk for hours here if we want to, but we're really scheduled right now, and we better say thank you one more time, and hopefully I will see you in a month in the show, and so I don't know, something else that you want to add before we go.
The thing I would add is absolutely, you come down here as a client and you leave as a friend.
Yes, family.
And it's not goodbye, whatever. It's until next time. If you have that passion, I mean, you're going to feel it here at Alcampo, Sierra El Alamo, just because, I mean, that's the way you are treated. I keep saying amazing, the conservation. I got to see it full circle, being a large part, involved in it largely, and then being able to see the full circle was more than I didn't have to hunt nothing. I didn't have to shoot nothing. That's not what it was about for me. Obviously, my wife and then giving my son the opportunity was something a little extra, something special. But being part of it for so long and then getting to see the conservation end of it was amazing.
Unbelievable, as you said.
Yeah, unbelievable. Never been that close to sheep. Obviously hunting or even just going to look at them. So just seeing all the hard work and anybody that needs to understand, I mean, this doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. You can be lucky like my wife and get to do something like this, but hard work and dedication and what the Artee family has done. And just a little quirk to Javier, he may have told me I didn't get the platinum package, but I was treated like I had the platinum package.
Javier's always with that. Yes. No, I mean, we treat everybody as you guys, but when it's family, it's like you say, it's a special. It's a special. Not everybody has the time or the opportunity to do it, and I see it in you, like I see it in my family. It's family. When it's family, it's family, and family is really important for us. So I'm more than happy to having you here, guys. And sadly, you're leaving. Sadly you're leaving. But of course, there's a lot of things to do back home. And Christmas is coming soon, and taking care of the family. So. I'm gonna check hands with you guys, and congratulations. See you soon at the shows.
Yes.
And thank you one more time. And for all you guys, follow us in the social media, Instagram, Facebook, and all the digital platforms as YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Thanks, and see you until the next hunting adventure. That's it, guys.
Estudio D. Dale voz a tus ideas en Estudio D.